Welcome to the first episode of the Simple Living Podcast with Randy and Vanessa. I'm Randy.
I'm Vanessa.
We wanted to create this podcast to be an encouragement to other parents and those out there who may feel like they're in life alone.
We wanted to create something that we can share with others because we like listening to podcasts and gaining information that way. So, although we do not have most things figured out, it's fun to share our experiences and find those people who are like-minded with us.
So, hopefully, most people can identify with us, and hopefully, we can share some stories, share some things that we're doing or going through at the time while we make this podcast. This podcast stemmed from a lot of conversations that me and Vanessa have had over the years. And I think if you have a healthy marriage, a lot of people try to find that time, that 5, 10, 15 minutes of free space to connect again. I think that's very important in a marriage. And I just want to throw it out there that this is a very formal greeting and introduction to our podcast, and we really want to be ourselves, and we're going to strive to try to be ourselves during this podcast. So I don't do well with formalities, so just know that at any time we may bust out laughing. You never know what's going to happen when we get together and start talking. So,
and the most shocking part is we're both very introverted people.
We're both very backwards, very shy, and people that I have known for years because I haven't been around them a whole lot, I clam up when they come around just because of the comfort level. I struggle with that. I'm not extroverted at all, although I have faced fear over getting up in front of people, and hopefully I can continue to push myself, this podcast included, to get out of my shyness and be a better speaker, and to be able to take my thoughts and put them into words and things like that, and not be afraid or ashamed of what I think or say. We will, like I said, we're going to try to share stories. We're going to probably have topical events in this podcast of what's going on this week, what happened last month, struggles that we're going through in parenting, struggles that we're seeing out into the world. We'll try not to get too political on here. Vanessa is anti-political. She does not like politics. She tries to stay away from them. I as well try to myself. And what we want to do first off with this episode is we want to introduce not only who we are and a little bit about us, but why we created the podcast. Vanessa said that we both enjoy listening to podcasts outside of, parenting. There's several that she listens to, and there's a few that I listen to as well. So I'll let you take care of why we created the podcast first. What's one of the reasons we created the podcast?
Well, I think to share our experiences and what God is teaching us through parenting and like being married, being a family, and kind of in a way going against society or what society thinks is normal. I don't think we're too far out there, but there's a lot of things that we do differently that even some of our own family may not understand. And I guess the reasons why we do what we do, and hopefully to point others ultimately to Christ, but to show that you don't have to follow what society says is normal.
We are definitely define normal anyway, but we are definitely not what anybody would say is normal in today's culture. So the main reason we wanted to do this is to try to reach people. We want to reach people with a positive outlook on not only just parenting, but a biblical worldview. Some people out there may be listening to this. You're not a Christian. You don't care anything about church. there are a lot of people like you, and there's a lot of people that have been converted that were once hard to it all, and maybe you don't understand. Hopefully, listening to this podcast, you can be helped by some of the things that we talk about. And
But even if there are those that are not Christians, they can still learn
oh,
maybe
absolutely,
some things.
that's not
Not that we know it
Not
all.
all
We're
about
still
that.
learning
yeah.
a lot. But well, I guess what would be helpful to know is, we're
Go ahead.
we're raising 3 girls right now. Our oldest is 18, and then we have one that's fixing to be 12, and then one that just turned 11. So that's the season of parenting that we're in right now.
You have been homeschooling them for 9 years.
Yep.
Um, the oldest was in the 3rd grade, you said, and the younger were babies. Obviously, they started with homeschool. The oldest started in regular public school and was pulled out, and Vanessa has been homeschooling ever since. So she will be doing some topical discussions on this podcast about homeschooling and curriculum and things like that in the future as well.
Of course, I don't guess you mentioned we've been married for 14 years. All right, so why did we name the podcast what we did?
The podcast started out in its early stages as a blog that turned into a YouTube channel that has now turned into a podcast. So it started out under the name Small Town Simple Living and has transformed into the Simple Living Podcast. And I dare say mainly because we both had foundations of people when we were younger and influences for things that were very simple. For most of our families were farmers, and I mean legit farmers. I'm not talking about combines and cornfields. I'm talking about backyard chickens and having 2 or 3 hogs that you would kill. My family had very humble beginnings, and so did hers. So we got to see people that lived in the Great Depression when we were little. I did, for one. They were older, living in their 70s at the time when I was like 7, 8 years old. And I got to experience what it would be like to live in the Great Depression, because those people lived so simple, and it was unlike anything that I'd ever seen before. So the name comes from how we were brought up and how we view things and view the world, especially through a biblical worldview. So that is a lot of where the name came from. It started with humble beginnings for my family. Vanessa has a little different point of view, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's what we're trying to do. We're trying to live a simple life in a busy society. Just some of the things that we do, like I said, is a lot different than what most people do, and we just try to keep our home simple and to live simple and not need so much stuff and things that the world says you should have. Because if you think about it, the way people lived, I would say even just 100 years ago, it's like they didn't need as much as what we think we need now. I mean, yeah, we do like comfort. We obviously have air conditioning, which is a blessing, but just simple things like hanging clothes out on a line. Like, I love doing that. Like, we own a dryer, but we don't use it, or I don't use it.
Oh, in the fall, I'm in the woods. Usually in the summer, we're finding water somewhere to fish or do something outside. I mean, even if it's running in the rain, not me, but them. I don't like getting wet.
Yeah. Like growing a garden. I mean, and a lot of people do grow gardens, but I think a lot of people, they just go to the grocery store. They think that's just where their food comes from. And it's like, I think people are just losing those skills and how to provide for your family. And we are in no way growing food for the year or anything like that, but we're trying to learn those skills, and just in case you ever really do need them. I feel like if something terrible ever happened, our society would crumble because most people don't even know how to grow a garden. So,
Simple living, simple things. I feel like a lot of the things in this world right now are overcomplicated.
there is one scripture that I wanted to share that I thought fit very well. It's probably my second, maybe, favorite verse, but this is out of the ESV translation, so don't tell our church family. I'm joking. It says, "And to aspire to live quietly, and to mind your own affairs, and to work with your hands as we instructed you, so that you may walk properly before outsiders and be dependent on no one." And that's in 1 Thessalonians 4:11. So, as far as living simply and basically minding your own business in a way, taking care of your own business, I think that's,
Depending on your friends and family and those who can support you locally,
yeah,
not anything above that.
right.
God, yes. Family, yes.
Mm.
So, with all that being said, now you know why we created the podcast, where the name came from, you know a little bit about us. And hopefully we will start making episodes and get some new episodes out for y'all soon. And we're going to start posting this podcast weekly. We're going to try to make an episode a week and post it. Going to try for Mondays. So I hope y'all will catch us then. And until the next time, we will see y'all guys later. Bye.